Here we go. Here we go.
Does it appear that we have ignition?
I have nothing yet.
Okay.
I show nothing. Oh, here we are. We're live now. I see us.
Okay, let me just throw this in the garbage.
Oh my gosh, we're live. So what do I got to do here?
This friggin' thing is annoying.
I see people doing thumbs up. Oh, here we go.
Cool, man.
Brittany Olsen is here. That is so cool. Brittany's so cool. She's my new favorite fan. William James Long.
All right, let's
Django Chang.
let's start the
is
podcast
watching
man.
with us. I would.
Here we go.
This is Things Police See, First-Hand Accounts, with your host, Steve Gould.
Hey guys, welcome to the podcast. Welcome to Cops in the News for the week of 9/7/2020. This is a podcast that interviews cops about their wildest and craziest moments on the job, and also has a weekly live show that you're listening to right now when we comment on the bizarre and crazy news from police. With me as always, Ken Roybal. Hello, Ken.
I like that. It's like a drum roll.
I'm basically
Hey, Karen Kincaid.
Hispanic now.
Brittany says that this is her favorite podcast now.
Oh, thank you.
What do you think about that, Steve?
I love it. I think I love that.
I like it.
It's awesome.
James Joseph is here. And he loves us. He loves us.
Love you, James.
So cool. Dennis, oh man, Steve, say Dennis's name because I don't want to keep messing up people's names.
Say his name.
Say
Dennis.
his
Oh,
name.
that's an easy one. That's Grunuyuk.
Oh, why did I
Grunuyuk,
think of that?
Yep.
Dennis, what's up, man?
Dennis.
The Django Chang.
And people
He says
should
we're not
realize
inhaling,
on the podcast that we do this one live, so we kind of chat a little bit in the beginning. We let people get in. So I guess what we could do, Ken, we could in the podcast version of this edit to the news, or we could just shorten this section because did you see our latest review?
No.
They were 5-star, so no complaints there.
5-star.
But they did say they edited it and said, could you guys stop, talking to everybody as they come in? But I think that's part of the fun of the live broadcast. So I get what he's saying. He's listening to the other podcasts and just hearing us go. Know what I did at one point? I did list like where the news starts so that people didn't have to, hear us greet everybody. But yeah, that's what makes it fun. That's what join the community, join the party, my man.
Yeah, I don't know how we. I mean, it's a live event, and so I'm not sure how we respond to that.
I think what I'll do is when I do, because I've heard that before about taking a long time to get to the news. With the podcast, I'll just cut to the news. That's easy. That's not.
Well, so the person who gave us a 5-star review but didn't like us talking to the people in the room, he'll never hear this because he's just going to go straight to the news.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's what I think.
Your camera's a little bit fuzzy, my man. Your fancy camera.
Hang on. Oh, wait a minute. Gee whiz. Hang on.
Uh-oh, ladies
second.
and gentlemen. Hey, Ken, I want to show you something.
Talk to me. Show me.
I'm going to show you something that I got at the store today.
Did you go?
Oh, hi, Ken.
Oh my gosh!
Oh,
reading
hello, Ken.
glasses.
Yeah, these
man.
are my glasses that I
Your
have to
reading
wear.
glasses, dude.
Yeah, I got to
That's
wear them.
creepy.
I have double, what do they call it? Stigmatism. So when my eyes get tired or when I look at the computer for too long, they said I should wear these. I've never had glasses, and this is about the second time I've put them on.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is clear, but it seems off. Is that normal?
If you're reading glasses, it's because if you're too close to the power of the reading glasses, it might magnify it too much for you.
Well, they're not reading glasses. They're prescription.
What are they? Oh, they're prescription for what?
Ken, you really don't listen to my eye problems when I tell you about them. I
do. You have an astigmatism.
Yes, I have 2 astigmatisms. Jack, what's up, my man?
Good.
Can I help? You want to say hi to everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, look in there.
Jack
Say hi. There you go. All right, buddy.
Well, can I speak on the mic?
Okay, just say hello. Okay, go ahead.
Hi.
All right, thanks, brother. I love
Hi,
you.
Jack.
All right, can you shut the door, bud? Oh yeah. Okay, appearance from Jack. That was unexpected.
We're getting. I'm trying to go through these comments, you guys, at the beginning before we start the news. Everybody's saying hello, greetings, everybody, and all I see is that Brittany Olsen says we're lame, so that's cool.
What?
I like that. Yeah, she said. I don't know what prefaced that, but something's lame.
Man, she's hot and cold. We were right there, and now
I thought we were friends.
it's an abusive relationship.
Thanks, Dennis. That we kind of butchered your name, but we're thankful that you're here. And these people, man, they're like, shut the hell up. We like listening to you guys talk at the beginning of the, of the podcast.
Oh, I think that warms my heart. I like that.
John Verdi is watching, and let's see here. I'm looking. I'm trying to. These. Where is our?
We do have mugs, Brittany. Of course. Go to thingspolicey.com, then go to merch, and there's a couple schnazzy mugs to pick from there. Appreciate it.
Hey, we're twins. She said we're twins. I like that. I didn't even notice that.
Hmm.
Oh no, Jack and you are twins.
Oh, Jackie boy.
I'm just, I'm reading these comments, but I'm behind, and so when they talk about stuff, I just look. Oh, we're twins. Steve and I are twins. No, Jack.
Jack is very happy that I got these today, and he's like, the glasses patrol. He's like, why aren't your glasses on? Because he has glasses,
Oh, he has glasses.
He's
too.
very excited that Daddy got like the same glasses that he has.
Zach Bone has to work. Zach, you need to quit your job and listen to our podcast full time.
Yeah, get some priorities, man. Come on.
Man, what's going on?
Come on, dude.
Dan Carlson said he just bought a mug and a T-shirt from TPS.
My brother. Thank you, Dan. That's awesome.
Cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, so, man, I'm telling you, I think the big news, aside from the police news, the big news is the West Coast is getting choked out by fires and smoke, and everything's orange, and the sun is fireball red, and the sky is creepy zombie-like.
It's crazy, man. I can show you a little drone footage from my house if you'd like to see.
I'd like to see it. I don't know about everybody else.
There it
but
goes.
I'd like to see it. Whoa. That's nasty. That's terrible. I mean, and you guys are pretty close to the fires, huh?
Yeah, well, they're on either side of us. So this particular day, the wind was blowing them both. So this is directly above my house. It was bad. We were trying to do some yard work and get some stuff done. And man, I've never had that feeling, Ken, when your esophagus starts to like not just burn but ache, and it makes you anxious because you can't breathe really good. So yeah, it was kind of freaky. If this could stop soon, that would be preferable.
Hey, Brittany, Steve can't see your comment because he's blind, but I'm gonna repeat your comment here. Can you see your comment?
Which one?
Whoa, dang, you having a hard time breathing, Steve?
I was, yes.
Yeah,
ma'am.
like Dan Carlson just called it. It looks like Mars.
Yep.
I mean, outside my window, I'm in Washington State, and we got some fires, but it's not. I mean, I didn't think they were near me, but holy cow, it's like really weird, like Mars.
Can you smell it? So you're getting. My buddy's in Oregon. He's getting nailed as well. So it's all over the West.
We're not smelling it. We're not getting the ash, but the sky. I was telling some people, man, this is no offense to California. Not offensive to California, but when California, when you walk outside on a normal day and it's got that smog, that hazy smog, that's what it looks like out here. It looks like California.
Yeah, you're right, Ken. That's what it looks like up there right now is what California looks like with no fire. It's just normal California.
It is. It's like the
sad.
sky is just like, I don't know how do you describe it, but I remember going into Ontario airport and you're above the smog and then you start going through the smog and you're actually going through this thickness and all of a sudden you're just in it, man. It's just weird. Well, you guys in California, I really feel for you. I was there all those years, and there was fires all the time. But it seems like I saw a map track my fire or something like that, whatever it was, and it looks like the whole entire of California is on fire. The whole thing.
Yeah, they're everywhere. Like for my job, I travel around Southern California a bit, and you'll just see off in the horizon like just a mushroom cloud, and you're like, oh, I guess there's one there, and then there's one over here, and you start thinking to yourself, well, I gotta make my way. I hope the highway doesn't get shut down. Or at one time last year, Ken, the guardrails on the 14 over by Palmdale were on fire when I was driving through. They were on fire. There was a guy going the wrong way on a major freeway. He went by me that way.
Oh.
And all the rest of us were like looking at each other in our cars like, what did this guy see? And he just got freaked out because a helicopter dumped near the road, and he just panicked. But it's no joke, man, because it happens like that. You can get caught in these things if you're not careful.
Yeah, there was a picture last year of up in the mountains. I don't remember where it was in California, but it was a picture of a police car that had been, evacuating people or whatever. And the police car was it wasn't just destroyed, Steve. It had like melted in the heat. It was just collapsed. Oof. And there's all these photos of people. These people are videotaping on their phones as they're driving through the flames. Like if you die because you're not paying attention when you're driving down the road, no one's going to find your phone footage because it's melted.
What a shame. My phone footage.
But it's amazing the things people take video of in the midst of emergencies and all this stuff when you can die. But I got to get this on my cell phone.
Yeah, it's ingrained in people. Man. It is crazy.
Yeah.
Remember, was it Paradise that burnt to the ground?
Yeah.
Remember that deputy sheriff, that body cam footage, and it's just orange, and he and like 3 other people are just running down the road. I thought they would have died. I mean, that was insane.
There's some wicked photos of the fires, but oh my gosh, did you see who just came in the room?
Mean Christine is here.
Mean Christine.
Watch your P's and Q's.
Yeah, my shirt is fancy. I know.
Ooh, it's got buttons on it today? Damn.
I got nothing on it today. But guess what? I'm shopping for new T-shirts, and I just got one from Relentless Defender. And then I'm gonna order a few more, and maybe some long sleevey T-shirts because fall and winter is coming up. So I'm getting my patriotic gear coming up here because my shirts are getting older, and Steve's getting tired of my my Blue Coat Music shirt.
Yeah, Ken, we got to send wardrobe over and get you a different one. Long sleeve T-shirts. That's ginger wear right there. That's good.
Hey, Christine, because we're going to catch you up here. We got somebody mailed in to Steve and said that our little banter back and forth with our group before we actually start the news, it wasn't very cool. So what we're going to do is we're bantering, and then Steve's just going to edit all this banter out on the audio only podcast. So we're just talking, chit-chatting right here so the group can get in here, and then we're going to start the news. So that's why we're talking about my T-shirt.
Now Christine is caught up. I do have, you know what? I have a healthy amount of shout outs this week, my man.
Oh, please, let's start.
I have to give a big shout out to Brian Schaefer, generous donation. He actually had trouble donating through the website, so he contacted me and said, I've tried 3 times. How can I get this donation to you? And I said, hey, try Venmo. So I just gave him my Venmo email and like 5 minutes, send me an envelope of cash, baby. Then 5 minutes later, donation. So Brian, thank you for persevering on that. That's awesome. T.A. Maxwell, big donation, very generous. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Lisa Gano, stepping up again. She's donated several times. Love Lisa. Lisa jogs daily with the Blue Line flag in her town. So really,
she's famous.
Really excellent. Karen Kincaid steps up again with a very generous donation. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Karen.
Karen, you're the best. Ricardo Monsibes? Is that right?
Yes.
Monsibes? Very generous donation. Thank you, sir. William J. Long, who's a monthly subscriber, increased his monthly amount.
What?
That's how much he appreciates us. William J. Long Investigations. He's the man. Thank you, William.
That's right. And what's really cool, you guys, is that this money does not go to Steve. It goes to the podcast, goes right back into the podcast. He pays himself back for all the stuff he's already paid for. But thank you guys so much for all those donations.
Oh, it's awesome.
That's kind of cool. Hey, I got some news stories.
I got one more.
As you will.
I got one more.
Oh, wait, I'm going to do news stories. No, go ahead.
Caleb Applin. Thank you, sir. Very generous. Appreciate that. That's it, sir. I'm ready for the news.
Is that it?
That's it. Promise.
Well, it's overwhelming. Before we get started, the news that you can cut this part out in the audio, that it's an overwhelming response that our banter is cool, and people that don't like our banter are uncool.
Oh, well, so. I don't want to go that far. We did get a 5-star review, which is changeable.
But you're cutting this out, right? So, that doesn't count. Oh, what happened? You forgot. I forgot to cut it out this time.
Again.
Sorry. Just in case Steve does not cut this out, people who don't like the banter are the coolest and ever.
Covered all bases. It's all covered now, baby.
That's right. That's right. So I'm ready for some news. You guys ready for some news? Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Christine, it's so great when Christine's here. I just got to give a shout out to Christine. Christine, shout out. That was it. Shout out. And it's good to have her here because she's got to monitor our comments. Pamela Klein Jensen's here, Orange County young lady.
Last week here. Christine wasn't here, and then she also just traveled out of state without even talking to us about it. So it was kind of like,
I'm not quite sure. Aren't you supposed to report when you're leaving TPS territory? I'm not sure about that. Lisa Gano's here. We just talked about you.
We just shouted you out. Thank you.
Shouted you out. Yeah. All right. Let's get started with some news. Are you guys ready for news? Because I don't know. I don't know why you come. I think you come here to watch us, but we can do news too.
News it up.
News. Our first story is very upsetting to me, and it should be upsetting to you. Hey, Enzo says, "What's up, Pops?" He's here. Tell Enzo hi, and tell him to call me because I haven't heard from him in a while. So, Enzo, hello. So tell Enzo and Django Chang, I'm going to talk about LAPD in the first story. So this is very upsetting, guys. LAPD's been off the radar for a little bit, and then something has happened with LAPD. An officer got arrested. So
yeah, you've really been kind of off the hook here for a while. For a while, it was kind of hard.
Yeah, I'm kind of upset about this. I'm going to read that. Let's just go into the headline. And this is an 18-year LAPD veteran admitted to grand theft by falsifying work hours. So this officer somehow, I don't even know how this got past supervisors because I thought supervisors were supposed to approve overtime. That's the way it was a long time ago. So anyways, this officer, 48-year-old Monica Renee Moore, 18 years on the job, pleaded to one misdemeanor count of grand theft. I didn't even know grand theft was a misdemeanor. It's grand theft.
I know. Seems odd.
And she was sentenced to 3 years informal probation. And get this, an LAPD officer, former LAPD officer, is going to be doing 20 days of Caltrans work, freeway work, picking up trash.
Oh, man.
That's only reserved for people who are criminals. She's also got to resign from the police department. And not only that, but check this out. She got paid fake money, $8,500. $8,500. And she's got 18 years on the job. Now, this is how this works. You spend 18 years. You do 2 more years. That's 20 years. You qualify for a pension. Now, you have to be 50 to qualify for a pension. So she's 48. So in the 2 years more that she would have to go to get her pension, she would have paid she paid just her contributions to the pension plan, right? Within a few years of retiring, that money's gone, and you're living off the city's dime now, the pension. She blew all that for $8,500.
Was it worth it? Jeez.
In fake overtime. What? And to me, I think, what the heck is that? What's going on with that? That is there something? I'm not trying to play armchair psychologist, but that's kind of one of those things you go, that's really weird. That doesn't even make sense. Right?
Yeah, I don't get that. So you said she resigned, so she's not going to be able to have a retirement, right? They're going to make her.
No, she doesn't have the time on. You have to have at least 20 years
Oh,
to have
really?
to
Okay.
get your pension. Then you have to be, I think, 50 years old.
Oh,
So if she
wow.
would have just stayed in that bubble for 2 more years, she would have had the time on the job and the age requirement for retirement. And then she could have just left if she wanted to not be a police officer. Don't go that way about it. But one thing that I will tell you about police work and police officers, there's a lot of things you can get popped for like drunk driving, and they'll send you to treatment and they'll forgive you, and you get a strike on your report card for that. But if you get caught stealing, Steve, I don't care what police department it is. If you get caught stealing, you 50 cents a dollar, you will get fired.
Yeah, it's over. Can't do
It's
dishonesty.
over. So
That's nuts.
yeah.
In Massachusetts, it's 10 years and you're vetted. So when she resigns, does she get to take her money back with her?
That's all she gets.
Just
That's
what
all
she put in.
is her contributions, which is pennies compared to
a lifetime
what
of
a pension would be.
Of course.
Yeah.
What a shame.
Hey, Enzo's here. Enzo's one of my really good friends from the old policebackground.net days.
Enzo.
Yeah. And we've got comments here. Brittany says she ruined her retirement with her dishonesty. That is true. Yeah. Gavin McCulley says we have to start the show over because he got a phone call.
Okay, let's do it.
Start for the top. Ted Fauble,
Start the
my
intro.
friend from Washington. Yeah, Django Chang says Tier 5 is 20 years into the pension and 50 years of age. And that's just a stupid thing to do, man. 18 years of your life in police work, and then just to give it up for and it's like one of those things where you weren't walking through the store and you decided to grab a pack of gum and you got popped for shoplifting. This is having the you're well aware that you are turning in several fake overtime slips.
She must have thought she was just going to get away with it. It was never going to come. She'd never be punished, you know?
Yeah. I don't know why she thought that, but hey, Django and Enzo, back in the day, we used to have to turn our OT slips in and have a sergeant or watch commander sign our overtime. Do you know anything about this? I'm not trying to find secret information, but is that still the same? You have to get overtime from a supervisor, or was she signing her own overtime slips, or how did that work? Is it electronic? I don't know. I don't see how you can just turn in overtime without a supervisor catching it. So she's done. Brittany says here in Aurora, there was an officer who was caught super drunk while in uniform in his patrol car. Small slap on the wrist, and she was not happy about that.
Well,
so,
that's a disease.
Oh, yeah. Enzo says that you still have to have a supervisor approve your overtime. So I don't know how she got away with it unless she falsified the supervisor's approval. Or it was one of those real loosey-goosey type of jobs. Maybe she was working in an admin job and the supervisor just trusted her that she was working the hours she said she was working.
Yeah. That's weird.
So, yeah. Supervisors have to sign in. Yeah, supervisors have to sign in another supervisor's OT. So she must have had some kind of little scam where she figured out how to get overtime without having a supervisor sign it. Or the supervisor just trusted her so much that he just went ahead and believed her and signed off. And I would assume that if that was the case where the supervisor was just signing the OT slips without checking, he may be in another position working maybe patrol, graveyard shift.
Yeah, I'm sure someone got a slap on the wrist for that. That wouldn't be uncommon for them not to mention. They don't have to mention disciplinary action of someone else if it's internal, right? They can just take care of it. He's probably working the front desk for the overnight shift.
Yeah, I mean, and they could bump him down to a police officer position if they want. And sometimes that's just worth it if you've got the time on the job and you can become a P2 from a sergeant. At least you don't lose your job, your pension, and all that. But that kind of sucks that she was to do that. So, anyways, let's move on from LAPD and move on to other police departments. So, hey, you guys, big news. So, you guys remember a couple of weeks ago, Carmen Best from Seattle, the police chief from Seattle, she resigned, right, because she was getting pissed off. And the city leadership, they wanted to defund and all that. And she just got tired of it. And she says, you're not backing me. I'm going to quit. So she retired. The big deal about Carmen Best retiring from Seattle as the chief of police is that she was a black police chief. And this is a big thing. Whenever there's a black police chief that a black officer that becomes a police chief, it's a big deal. It makes the news. This is our first black police chief in our city, blah, blah, blah. They make the big news. Well, now the big news is the opposite. The opposite is that black police executives are resigning from police departments. This week, the Dallas police chief resigned, and the entire command staff at Rochester, at the Rochester Police Department, has resigned. I don't know about the rest of the staff for Rochester, but the police chief is black. Dallas police chief is black. You remember that the Atlanta police chief resigned, and all these black police executives are resigning because they're not really super. They're kind of talking under the radar, so you got to kind of figure out what they're saying. But the gist of what I'm getting from these articles is they're not getting the support for their officers or the department, and they're tired of laying down and taking all this abuse and not being able to do police work.
Yeah. This is a picture of the Rochester meeting where the I think you can see the staff down there, command staff, probably right before they all threw their badges into the wall and walked out.
So those are the command staff, or those are city council people?
Yeah, this up top here, I think, is the city council people, and then down below is all the command staff in their meeting room here. And
okay.
I think it's about an hour-long Zoom call. It's online. You can watch it. I think this is where, I think it's where they kind of hashed out that they were going to look at some of these city council members. They look like they were 13. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, all you gotta do is run for city council, and that's Rochester, right?
That's Rochester. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, they're not these, good for them, these chiefs of police that aren't willing to do the little dance and watch their departments get cannibalized by these hacks that are running these cities. It's
right.
It's like they don't get, the color of your skin doesn't matter. Like these, it doesn't matter. They're cops, and they know the truth, and they're walking out. So I don't know. I guess get a super woke white person in there.
Who do you get in there? Who wants to do the job? I mean, if you're part of the command staff under the chief of police and they go, hey, dude, I'm leaving because it sucks here. And you go, yeah, you're right. It sucks here. Hey, you want to be chief? I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, no. I mean, already there's a lot of times when there's a chief spot open and the deputies and the lieutenants are like, captains, no one wants to apply just because the job sucks. It's a certain type of person wants to do it. In today's climate, you're right, Ken. No one's going to want to do this job. I mean, you're not in a union. You're not under, you get a 1 to 3 year contract, and then you do anything wrong. It's so easy for them just to cut your head off and just bring another one in, so.
Well, it's your fault.
Yeah.
It's funny. I think a little over a week ago, there was an article in the local Seattle paper that said that was it Seattle? I think it was Seattle, that they said that there was nobody applying for the police chief job. But the guy, whoever was running the show in HR or whatever, he's like, yeah, but I'm sure we're going to get applications. We're going to get applicants for this job. But so far, it was a news story that nobody wanted the job. Nobody wants the job.
Well, we lowered the salary by 70%, and it's very clear that we hate you. So I don't see why no one would apply. Come to our city. We hate you, and we don't want to pay you.
City. Yeah, we've been in the news, and it's terrible. We don't back our officers, but come and hang out. And the Dallas police chief, her name, what is her name? Renee Hall. She's going to be on there. She's going to be there till November still. But she came on. She was the chief of police that came on after the 5 Dallas officers were killed.
Oh, really? Was she popular with the guys? Do you know?
I don't know if she's popular, but if you'll notice, have you noticed the news conferences from Chicago PD that the chief who was in Dallas at the time those 5 officers gets killed, he's the chief of police in Chicago now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But what a terrible time for her to come on the job. She had a tough job ahead of her, and now she's resigning. And so it's kind of where, I mean, what do you guys think about this? Is it a big deal that that they're black? Is it a big deal? I mean, because whenever they get promoted, it's a big deal in the newspaper, and the city kind of touts it as a big deal. And now, what are they going to do when the next chief is promoted? Do they go, oh, let's promote a black executive, or we just want someone who will please take the job, please?
Yeah, they'll be taking anybody who will, who will walk through the door.
And so here's a big thing. So the reason they promote black command staff is because of all the BLM stuff and all this, and it's and police brutality against black folks and all that. But the whole thing is that now we have a black police chief, and it's supposed to help the community because the leader of the police department is a person of color. And so this is supposed to make the community kind of come together. But with these police chiefs resigning, it would appear that experiment has failed.
Yeah. I mean, and people have to realize that these major cities already have tons of minority leadership in the ranks. They're in the neighborhoods, and believe it or not, it just doesn't stop crime just doing just the color of someone's skin. It just doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. And I think if you had a police department that was in certain, cities have a certain demographic. And if you had police officers of certain races and colors and stuff like that in the same areas where all the same people lived, would police shootings stop because the races are the same or something like that? So it doesn't stop because the police chief and the command staff are people of color. So now what do they do?
Well, they might want to just try to hire the most qualified person. I don't know.
Well, that's what Karen Kincaid said. She said, "I wish the department would promote the person most qualified. Forget the color."
I'm with Karen.
Karen
for
I'm
president.
With you, Karen. I think that this is an experiment that has failed, and I think it shows that it doesn't have anything to do with. I mean, what if you hire someone who's just not qualified? I'm not saying these guys aren't, but someone who's not qualified for the job, or there could have been someone better, but they were not the right color, and you passed them up, and they could have been the reformer for the police department.
Yeah.
What up? So, Lori Gibson's here. Hey, Lori, how are you?
Lori.
Yeah. So, I mean, Brittany Olson says these people think ACAB, so it doesn't matter, which is true, Brittany, that these protesters and all these people that are anti-cop, they turn on their own. The people that are supposedly for them, that are helping them with the riots, and did I say riots? I meant peaceful protests. Those folks, and they're marching on their houses, and these are the folks that say, "Oh, kumbaya, BLM," and all this stuff. And then those same people who are in with these protesters, even marching with them, the next day the protesters will march in front of their house at their neighborhoods. They don't care. They don't care if you're with them or not. And so it doesn't matter. It's just a weird thing for me because nobody's really addressing the fact. There was a couple of news articles about it that said that these black executives are resigning, but nobody really had an answer to it. Nobody's discussing that except on things police see.
We do all the heavy hitting subjects.
All the heavy.
We're not
stuff.
afraid, baby.
Our next news story. You guys are going to love this. You're going to love part of it. You're not going to love part of it. So this story comes out of Arkansas. There's a guy. This guy's name is DeMarcus Donnell Parker, who's 27. He was convicted Tuesday. There's DeMarcus. He was convicted Tuesday of first-degree murder of an off-duty police officer, shooting death of an off-duty police officer. So they decided that he's guilty, and they sentenced him to 2 life sentences. And in case he made it through those 2 life sentences, they added another 835 years onto his sentence. So the entire sentence, when I add it together, let me do that, carry the 1, divide by 2, is a lot of time. I mean, it's like 1,000 years of time.
It's crazy. So they don't have the death penalty there?
I don't know. I guess not, man. That's the way you get around it, right?
Yeah. So kill the guy.
They do that a lot when they go, you're sentenced to 2,000 years. Why did you sentence to 2,000 years? Well, because of sentencing laws, and you can be sentenced to life and eligible for parole in 3 years. So that they do is they add all these years, and they say you're not eligible for parole until after the first lifetime. And you still have another lifetime plus 835 years to go, and that's the way you get away. You get away with kind of overruling those sentencing laws.
My goodness!
But yeah, so that's a lot of time. I think. I don't know how that works, but I know it's a formula that they use to get around that.
This guy looks like he's going to be drinking a lot of toilet crunk, a lot of toilet wine.
He doesn't. I mean, if that's his booking photo, he doesn't look very upset.
He's got quite the grill there.
Yeah, man. No, he's going to have nice teeth in prison. So
he's going to have nice dress in prison.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. And this is in, what did I say? This is in Arkansas County, Arkansas. Oh, West Memphis. West Memphis. We know some people in Tennessee. Tennessee don't play. Tennessee don't not play.
Now, West Memphis is, in fact, Arkansas.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Remember I got confused when I was camping because I was on the other side of the Mississippi, but I was in West Memphis.
Why did they do that for me? I was thinking West Memphis. I was thinking West Memphis, Tennessee, but they have a West Memphis, Arkansas.
Yeah, it's really confusing.
Duh, Steve.
I know.
And I was thinking about our friend out there in Tennessee. So Arkansas don't play games.
No,
I would think Arkansas would have the death penalty.
Yeah. There seems like they would be pretty biblical about their punishments. Like, well, just put you to death. Time to go bye-bye.
Yeah. Karen Kincaid says California has a death penalty. What a joke here, and it was voted in. Yeah, that death penalty, whole thing, death penalty in California. That was like we have a death penalty, but you're going to die in prison before all your appeals run out. All your appeals run out. So the death penalty over there in California, it's not real. It's not real.
When was the last time they killed someone out here?
Long time ago. Long time ago.
How do they do it here? Lethal injection?
Well, the whole thing was they had lethal injection, and then what happened was it was inhumane. The actual no matter how they killed the person, how the criminal killed the person doesn't matter, because lethal injection, the same. And I think of lethal injection, I think of, okay, we're going to give you 2 shots. This is how I think it goes. And one does this and one does that. And you can go to the dentist and have shots put in your mouth and shots put in your arm if you have wisdom teeth taken out and go to sleep. But somehow lethal injection for the death penalty is inhumane.
Yeah, like you said, the 2 shots. I thought one sent you to La La Land and then one stopped your heart. I thought that was, I don't know. Maybe they should just shoot them in the face with a high-powered rifle. That seems pretty quick.
That's not inhumane.
Yeah.
But I think that there's a lot of people that have said, like, why don't you just execute them the same way they killed their victim? How about that?
Yeah.
That's not, because they were okay with it the first time.
Eye for an eye, baby.
Okay, right?
Eye for an eye. Maybe people would think about it a little bit more.
So that whole thing is a whole nother story about that. But that sentence for this guy, I don't think he's going to be seeing daylight soon. And I don't think Arkansas is a place that you want to be under that sentence. So that's kind of interesting there. That's a good sentence, so I like it.
Yeah, it's good. It's a healthy one.
I like it. Do we approve of that sentence, folks?
8:35.
Hey, guys, we got a next story here right out of, oh, my goodness, Stephen.
Straight out of
Boston.
Boston. The kind of brother that would smother your mother.
Do you know anybody who was from Massachusetts that would take exception to this? So,
nope.
Well, this story is Ace Hardware apologizes to police officer after employees "I smell bacon" comments.
What is this, Wayne's World?
Yeah. So, and just let me preface this remark. Let me preface this story with a remark: is that Ace Hardware, they're franchises, so they're not owned by the company doesn't own all the stores. They're franchises. And the other thing is that Ace Hardware, if you go in there and you're a first responder, police officer and stuff, they have a discount that they give you. So they've been doing that for years. I used to go to Ace Hardware and I was already in the system as a law enforcement, and I would always get my discount. So they like police. This story does not reflect all of Ace Hardware.
Right.
It only reflects this particular one. So this police officer goes into an Ace Hardware store, and one of the employees, I'm sure he didn't mean anything by it. He says, "I smell bacon." Ha 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 ha. That's the funniest thing ever, Steve. Oh. That is so funny. And then once he was caught, after he had said that, he refused to apologize. So the Boston, the Boston Police Patrolmen's Association, the BPPA, they put on their Twitter account the story, and then apparently, let's see here, they got together with the owner of the Ace Hardware, and the owner says that they respect the values of all the customers. Not saying anything specifically about police. And the owner says that the store was disappointed to hear that a customer had a negative experience. The owner, not the kid, the owner issued an apology to the officer, and he addressed the incident with the employee.
Well.
So, hey, you can't,
Hey, man.
You can't really do that.
How about you're fired? There's tons of people looking for work. Get out of here.
Yeah, there's nowhere in any of the stories that I've read that said that he was fired for it. So, do you see Jackie behind you?
Jackie.
Hello, Jack. Okay. So anyways, this has been one of those things. Lori Gibson needs to go. Her battery's having problems. See you later, Lori. Thank you, Christine, for that comment. So anyways, this is one of these ongoing things and I'm guessing a lot of these people, these guys that do this type of thing, something tells me they're like in their early 20s or 18, 19 years old. I've not heard where this 57-year-old said this to this cop. I haven't heard that before. It's always these young people.
I thought you had to be a conservative person if you worked in like a hardware store. Aren't you supposed to like hang out, talk about fishing and rifles and lug nuts? What's going on with these young punks working in there?
He might have been the light bulb installer or something like that. I'm not sure.
See, the trick is you always go to the right. That's all.
Dan Carlson says they should do a pig roast and give all the proceeds to the local police department.
They should.
So apparently, Henry Amos is watching. Captain Henry Amos in California, one of my favorite people.
Nice.
Apparently, your son Jackie's very popular on screen.
We'll bring him back in at the end for farewells.
For a Jackie Q&A.
Hey.
I got a story here that you guys are not going to like again. Another police officer gets arrested in California. Is this the one we have a story on?
We do. On? We actually do have an audio clip on this.
Okay, so the story is, you guys, oh man, OC deputy arrested of burglary after items stolen from the house of a deceased man.
Accused of stealing from the home of a dead man. The sheriff says he was caught on video leaving a door unlocked and then returning several times while on duty to burglarize the home. CBS 2's Stacey Butler has this story.
I thought the police always the person we trust.
This Yorba Linda homeowner was shocked to learn that days after his next-door neighbor was found dead of natural causes in his home by this Orange County Sheriff's deputy doing a welfare check, investigators say that same deputy returned to the man's house several times to burglarize it. It was all caught on Ring camera video. This neighbor told us when the man's girlfriend returned to the house, she found the back door open and asked him to go inside with her.
I asked her to go inside the house, and she said that because I see the back door is open, so I worry about anything happen inside the house.
Security tape shows 12-year Sheriff's veteran Stephen Holtz entering the house, first in uniform, then deputies say he returned again at least twice more in shorts and a sweatshirt. He stole a fan, then a gun safe, a larger safe, and other items from the home. The man's neighbor told us the man was in his 70s, had lived alone in the home 40 years. He had 5 dogs but no children. An attorney for the estate gave the Ring video to the Sheriff's Department yesterday.
I cannot tell you how disappointed I am in the actions of Mr. Hortz. When he was called to the residence, it was to render aid and assistance, not to set himself up to commit further crimes or to victimize that family, and we owe them an apology.
We didn't send him there to rob the dead guy. Just that wasn't his mission. He was supposed to go there, to help.
So, so this deputy knows that this this older gentleman dies in his house. He knows that apparently he knows that there's nobody in the house, so he decides he's going to go back there, break in. And it doesn't say he went there and took some stuff. He's greedy, so he goes back there several times, is all they say, several times. And this deputy, he's been on the job long enough. He's so slick, he doesn't see the frickin' Ring doorbell. I mean, cameras can be hidden up at, you're walking up to a door and the cameras are up high, right? No, this is a frickin' Ring doorbell. It's on where the doorbell goes. Gee, that's a nice little box there. I wonder what it's for.
It's so stupid. Oh my gosh.
What a dummy. He doesn't bother going in the back way or anything. He goes where the doorbell is. So he's kind of stupid in the first place. But the homeowner was right. He called it right. The neighbor, he goes, I thought the police were here to protect us. Right.
They always got to get the sound clip in there, I thought police were here to help, but they hurt me.
That's still our crap, man.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, but I mean, he goes back there time and time again. I just don't get that.
Did you see what he stole, Ken? He stole a ceiling fan and a little gun safe. It's like, what the hell are you doing? Oh.
It's just stupid stuff. It's funny because the reason I was mentioning this, the last one, there was years ago. I don't know if you guys remember that the onion field case. Yeah, Shannon's correct. 2 safes and a
2 safes. I guess maybe if there's something, if he knew something was in there, it might be worth it.
Yeah. So back in the 60s, early 60s, I think 63 or something like that, there was this famous story called the Onion Field Murders, and it was about 2 LAPD officers that got kidnapped, and one of them got murdered in an onion field in Bakersfield.
Oh yeah.
So they kill Ian Campbell, and then the other officer, the other detective, was Carl Hedinger, and he escaped. And that's how they got the whole story of how everything went down. Well, later on, Carl Hedinger, he takes a lot of flack when he gets back to patrol or wherever he was assigned, and he can't take it anymore, so he leaves the job. One of the reasons was because that whole thing where you ever hear the police officer say, "Never give up your gun." If somebody, a bad guy, has a gun on your partner, you do not give up your gun. That's where that came from, because Carl Hedinger gave up his gun, put his gun down. They both got kidnapped. Ian Campbell gets killed. So from that, one of the very first things I ever learned on the job was you do not give up your gun, ever. And that's where that came from. But what I'm getting to is that Carl Hedinger, once he got off the job. I believe he was off the job, or he might have he was still on the job. So anyways, they pop him more than once for shoplifting. He's a police officer. So something happened in his brain from that incident, the trauma or something like that, where he became a kleptomaniac. So I'm kind of wondering, this type of thing where this OC deputy in uniform, Steve, he goes back more than once to this house and burglarizes it on camera. And it's a lot of times you hear that these people that do this type of thing, they want to be caught.
Yeah.
They want to be caught.
I mean, it certainly was very sloppy.
Yeah, it is. And so I'm kind of wondering, is this one of those things where maybe there's something's not right in the guy's head and he's just not stupid? There's something that's going on in him. Obviously, he shouldn't be on the job, but it's kind of a Paul Cagle. Paul Cagle's here, dude. Paul Cagle is here.
Killer,
man. I am so lucky. I get to work for Paul. I got to work for him when he was policebackground.net, and now the 830 Club. He lets me work for him there too. Very Paul nice. Is here. Awesome individual. Ray Wood says, let's see what Ray Wood says. Wait, I thought if a person really needed something, they could take it. Isn't that what's going on with the riots? And the media's okay with it. So yeah, I guess it should be okay. I mean, if you really need it, you should be able to take it.
Yeah. Like that DA in Portland's like, we're not going to prosecute it if it was financially motivated. Like if they really needed that thing. Yeah. Like that meme you posted, Ken, this week. It's funny how none of the grocery stores are being looted, just like, electronic stores.
Yeah, I posted a meme. I said, if they really need the stuff, then it's fine. So why aren't grocery stores being looted?
Right.
Why is it Gucci and these other places, Macy's? Because you really need stuff from there. So I think there was that story last week in that DA, I think Contra Costa County in California, where she says before they file charges on these looters and stuff, they have to determine whether they really needed it or not. So all I got to do is really ask this deputy if he really needed those. I didn't have any gun safes of my own.
Yeah.
I had nowhere to put my shotgun.
Ken, he really wanted that stuff, but he didn't own it. So, if you're you just have to take it. So I don't understand why anybody's got a problem. He wanted it. He wanted it.
And so that type of thing, I don't know what these people are. Sharon has a question, but we'll probably have to get to that. We'll get to that. Henry Amos says that he was going to return it to the owner later. I'm sure. He was just keeping it safe.
What if you went in there and the guy was like, "Wait, deputy, that before I die, you can take anything you want, especially the gun safe and the ceiling fan."
Ted Fobble says none of the looters are taking work boots.
Yeah, you really would feel differently if they showed a Rite Aid and some guy ran out with a bunch of cans of formula in diapers. You'd be like,
"Yeah,
oh man, I kind of feel terrible now." But that's not what you see. That you never see that. You see big screen TV, someone breaking open a pawn shop with a baseball bat, and pawn shops don't sell anything you need when you're hard up. It's just a bunch of garbage.
I've been to radio calls where a mom was caught taking meat and canned goods, and she just said, "I didn't have any money to feed my kids." And the owner was like, "Yeah, well, I had to call the police, but you can't do that." And we weren't going, "You have to arrest her." No, I was like, "Yeah, we get it." And there are some people that righteously have zero money and they have to feed their kids. And I can see where the owner would go, "Okay, that's we'll let you off. We're not going to hold that against you." But this thing, I can't do that with this OC deputy. I can't. He burglarized, so he's done.
Bad boy.
He's done with this. I'm looking at this. Okay, so the next story is our last story. You guys are going to get pissed at this story. This story sucks so bad, but it's not. It's not the first of these kind of stories. And I'm so glad my kids are not in school right now.
Oh, this one is brutal, Ken. When I read this, when you sent it over, you're like, "Oh, but one more." And I was like,
one more story. I just got this today. So here's the headline for this story, you guys. And so I know you're going to get upset. I know you are, but I got to tell this story anyways. Teacher assigns students to list names of black people killed by police. Indian Head, Maryland. Maryland special education English teacher gave his students an assignment requiring them to list the names of black people killed by police. John Folsey issued the assignment, and he he touted the name of the assignment was say their names. No political motivation there. No social justice going on there. He told him the say your names assignment as being even easier than the previous homework he had given out.
What a hero. Thank you for doing this, John. Thank you for teaching my kids and really informing them.
And he told the students to compile a list of black people killed by police since Michael Brown. So they get off the hook. It's not the entire history of the world. Michael Brown, including their names, the dates of their deaths, and the locations where they died. Now, check this out. This is the really good part. If you want to go to college, this is the type of stuff you look for. This next part. For extra credit, Steve, write a sentence or two about the circumstances of their deaths. So this is an assignment in a public school.
You know what jumps out to me is a sentence or two? This is a very easy assignment. This is not challenging at all. So it'd be easy to do it, but geez Louise, that I'm just so happy. I say this all the time that we're homeschooling our kids, Ken, because this is the garbage that's happening. I can remember when I was in high school doing my junior paper, which was a thing on firearms, in the development of firearms and use in civilization. And we had this crazy lefty teacher that was like the whole time trying to make me turn my research paper into an anti-firearms paper. And it's like when you're being pressured by the teacher, it's kind of obvious that maybe this could affect your grade if you don't kind of go, you know what I mean? But it's like that's not, it's just the history of war and firearms and how it progressed and like their usefulness versus, hunting versus killing humans. But yeah, it was like she was all about changing the whole theme of it to ensure I did better. It's like it's always been like that. That's academia has always been like that. And like they say, the politics is downstream of culture, and academia is part of that. So it's really an uphill battle for anybody who's conservative,
Yeah, when I was in school, though, I remember first thing in the morning we'd do the Pledge of Allegiance. We'd open our history books, our reading books, our math books, geography, whatever it was, and that's what we would learn. And now it's there's a lot of stories that come out of teachers that are left-leaning that are not afraid to just kind of put stuff out there or wear T-shirts that say, Trump's an idiot or whatever it is that you don't see a lot coming from the right. Most of the stories come out from the left, and where these types of ideologies are given to your kids.
Yeah.
And as far as I remember, you were responsible for some of the stuff your kids learn.
Right. Alex, you're right. If they did something about police, about honoring police or honoring fallen officers or something like that, it would be racist. It would be horrible. There would be an outcry. And Ken, you and I were talking about a letter that we got. We got a very thoughtful, like page-long email from someone who it sounds like she's centrist Democrat, maybe, if that exists anymore. Or it's kind of like a dying thing, where she was kind of a fan of the show and very complimentary, but also kind of taking some offense at how we tend to lump, in her eyes, we're kind of lumping normal Democrats in with the far left. And you and I kind of talked about it a little bit. We're like, well, it's kind of difficult to separate, to constantly be qualifying it when we're talking about it. Like, you probably know we're talking about the lefty wingnuts, usually that's who we're talking about. But you're kind of, it's hard to separate out because the right denounces the alt-right all the time. All the time, the right is like, the alt-right is Nazis, white supremacists, and crazy people. Denounces them. But the left doesn't take ownership the same way. They don't denounce their extreme left. So they're kind of what do you call it? Complicit? What's the word I'm looking for? Complicit in the whole thing, because no left politicians are coming out and denouncing any of this stuff, any of the far left ideologies, any of the Antifa stuff, none of them really step out of their box to shout it down. So, if you're the person who wrote the letter kind of sounds like they're more conservative than they think they are in my eyes. If you're a Kennedy era Democrat, you're a 2020 conservative. That's just, Republican Party is going the same direction as the Democrats, just it's in slower motion. Like you're more conservative than you think, and we can't just know if you're a centrist old school Democrat, we're not talking about you with this stuff,
Right.
And I hope you shout out and call out the far left for all their foibles, let's say,
Yeah. Before I address that, I want to give a shout out. A while ago, a hi came in from Memo Angela from Modesto, California. I wanted to acknowledge that they are here. Jim Gibson's here also. With regard to the letter, I'm pretty sure the listener, the writer of the letter is listening to this podcast. And I thought it was a very thoughtful letter. I thought it was well written. They took exception to specifically me, how I addressed a certain issue and said, I'm not even sure what the verbiage that I used, but I guess maybe it kind of lumped in all of the left from center to, radical left. And I didn't take exception to it. I don't like being called radical right or what's the other one that they use? Radical
alt-right.
Alt-right. I don't like people saying that about me. So I can see where somebody would be that. The problem for us is that whenever we have a story, you're correct. We can't qualify it by saying, okay, the comment I'm about to just make, because we just go off, we're just off the fly. We just say what we
Juking
say.
and jiving, baby.
Yeah. So for me to go, okay, wait, stop. This is for only this. I'm only addressing the far left in this comment, as opposed to liberals in general. It's just too hard to qualify that all the time. So our apologies that we can't do that. But to the writer of the letter, I thought it was very well written, and I didn't take any exception to it at all or anything about that. So
no, we appreciate
very nice
it.
letter. We appreciate it. Yeah, we appreciate the letter.
Absolutely.
I'm just not sure we can qualify our statements about when we say left or liberals or anything like that. We can't say center, middle center, things like that. We can't be that. So whenever Steve and I talk nasty about libs, it's usually the radical left. So no offense meant to the moderates. I think that covers it.
Absolutely. And we welcome everybody here. We're tolerant of that. So that's it. This is America. We're not like the radical left who would, dox you and put your information up and try to ruin your life.
Nah.
That's not.
And the person also said that we're a political show, and I never thought of us as a political show.
Yeah, I guess we can. Cops in the news definitely. It's hard to stay away from right now. We can't. It's with the police persecution that's happening. It's impossible not to address it, and it does become political. That's just, there's no way around it.
Yeah, because most of the stuff we talk about with regard to cops, it has to do with political pressure, political, how the politicians deal with the police. But then again, there are other stories that aren't political in nature. But I don't think our show is political. It just has to do a lot with the cops. And sometimes you and I will go, those left, liberals or whatever it is. We get into that a little bit. But
and believe me, Ken and I both have tons of people who are on the left in our families. We're not we're not in this conservative bubble. We love people who think completely differently than us. That's part of our lives. We're not, don't be thinking it isn't.
True. Do you guys have any questions? I'm just trying to catch up on these comments here. They're talking about the stories.
Shannon, I don't understand Shannon's comment at all. I'm trying to link it back. That? It's a little
Shannon's
bit.
Comment.
I'm not going to read it. I don't know what she was talking about.
Then we're not going to read that one because we don't understand it.
It's got a bad word in it. Or a naughty word, somebody I should
say. Shannon, and I want to say it's tweet. What do you guys think about the Antifa rumors? What Antifa rumors would those be? Because usually Antifa is nothing but rumors. Antifa does not have a mothership. They do not have anything that would link you to leaders or anything. They're loose anarchist group that does not have a home anything. So everything about them is a rumor. But what exactly are you talking about? So I can kind of figure that out. Lisa Gano says, you all aren't a political show. Let me see. You're a cop show, yet in our day and age, everything is political, and any out-and-out cop supporters are considered far right. We live in that's true. You love cops. You obviously hate other groups if you love cops.
That's true.
So Brittany says Antifa setting fires. I wouldn't doubt that at all. There was an article that came out that said that there's fires that have not been started. However, they start usually throughout the year. But apparently, some of these fires are being set by people. I don't think they've arrested anybody. But is the rumor is that Antifa is setting fires? Oh, I don't know about that. I haven't heard anything about that.
Well, it's like this impossible task to try to weed out who is rioting, who isn't, who is Antifa hijacking this movement for their agenda, the Black Lives Matter movement, and is Black Lives Matter, are they all 100% peaceful, but Antifa's infiltrating? There's kind of that narrative they're trying to weave where they have video of black people in the city protesting and then like calling out these white people in all black going, hey, why are you here? Why are you causing these like that's kind of a story they're trying to knit together. But like you've said before, Ken, and I couldn't agree more, when the bottles start breaking and the police are giving orders, that's time for peaceful protesters to leave. If you are a peaceful protester, the police, I've said this before, the police warn you so many times it's actually ridiculous. It's like your mom should slap you across the face if you're still there. Like it's out of control. So you kind of give up your station as peaceful protester when the police give you orders, and you're kind of milling around with people dressed in black who are indeed lighting things on fire. Why don't you separate yourself? Why don't you be a big boy or girl, take responsibility for your own person, and remove it from there? So, if you're getting intertwined with their story, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, Shannon says it's a rumor, all caps. It's a rumor. It's not true about Antifa. And Luke Steffen says it's a peaceful arson.
It's like a campfire.
It's a campfire. Everything about Antifa is a rumor because nobody outright who even goes out, even though they go out with their umbrellas and their fireworks and their black outfits and their face coverings and they're all dressed in black, nobody cops out to being Antifa.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like they have dovetailing agendas as BLM, so why wouldn't you just assume they're working together? Because it's like they're both communists. They both assume communist values. They espouse them online. You can read them. Like they don't hide it. They're not a fan of what we got going on in this country, this government, the way it works. So maybe they're mutually using each other mutually to start a revolution. I don't know.
Well, I think that's their goal. Lisa Gano says no, BLM is using Antifa, which I believe is true because they're not denouncing them. They're not with us. We don't hear anything about that.
Yeah.
We're not part of them. They're not part of us. We don't invite them. You don't hear any rhetoric about that. So, Gavin McCauley says 2 people have been arrested for starting fires. And I think one was in Washington State. But and I think every year these fires are started there's arsonists that start them as well. When you're not doing gender reveals, starting thousands of acres fires. That was a big deal. Wasn't there another one this year too, where somebody did a gender reveal? Was that again?
Yes,
recently?
that was a couple weeks ago.
Oh my gosh, man.
My wife was like so pissed off. She's like, you need pyrotechnics to tell the world that you're having a boy or a girl. Only in the LA area,
We used to pick up the phone and say, hey, or we just waited until our kids were born to find out what gender they were. That was, but So that's it. That's the answer to that. Any other questions, you guys? Thank you. Where was that? I think that was Brittany, wasn't it? Brittany or Shannon. Thank you, Shannon, for that question. That was a good question. We have a question here, and Michael Austin says, what recommendations or some encouragements do you have for fellow recruits like myself in the police academy? For you guys that have been through the academy, I went through 2,000 years ago, so it's different for me. But do you guys have any recommendations for Michael, who's going through the police academy? I like your shirt, Michael. That's a cool shirt. In fact, I think I saw that online in my shirt shopping. Christine, I'm on top of it. I just said. I feel good now because Christine called me on the carpet, but I caught it before I got
already done. Yeah, just hang in there, man. It's not forever. It feels like when you're a long academy, like 6 month long, it feels like it's never going to end. But by the end of it, you're like actually having a good time and you're super proud and it was all worth it. So just grind it, grind through it. It's not forever. And before you know it, you'll be telling stories over beers with your buddies, academy stories, and it will be great. It's worth it.
Yeah, it's the academy is one of those things where it's police college. It's a bunch of stuff. It's academics. It's self-defense. It's tactics. It's driving. It's shooting, all in one. And you got maybe 6 months to get it all done and get it right and pass. And so it's really a mindset. Don't plan on having any life whatsoever for 6 months, and just nose to the grindstone. Get it done. You only have to do it once. So just have it in your heart that you're going to finish it. Who was it? Somebody's asking about ammo. Steve.
Yes.
Luke Steffen says, what do you think of pistol caliber ARs? Oh my gosh, I just went up.
Pistol caliber
AR rifles for home defense.
Pistol caliber. Oh, like a 9mm AR. Sure. Why not? It's home defense. You'll be close quarters. So a 9mm would do just fine. The nice thing about a 223 though, the 5.56 round, is it's by nature it's frangible, which means it's not going to go through a whole lot. Like we've talked about that before, Ken. Like if you got the 12 gauge home defense and you blast someone with 1 ounces of lead, well, that thing is going to go either through 15 apartments or through your house, go 3 acres down the road and embed through your neighbor's house. So the 223 is not a bad round. Just know if you fire that off in your house, you will have hearing damage. Your kids will have hearing damage. It will be a horrible thing. So I don't know. Pistol caliber rifles I've always thought they were kind of neat, and I think they'd be great for home defense. Easy follow-up rounds. Boom, boom, boom.
You know that 1 ounce slug. I saw a guy shot in the back with one of those, and he was sitting in his window, and I might have told this story anyways. So his daughter's ex-boyfriend decided he was going to go kill the dad. So he shoots him through the window. Dad's watching football in his living room, shoots him through the window with a 1 ounce slug. The coroner came in and the guy's leaning on his face. And so the coroner comes in and they always do that liver check. You put the thing in the liver, see what the temperature was of the liver to determine how, when they died, how long they've been dead. So anyways, the coroner decides to put his little rubber gloves on, and he puts like 2 or 3 fingers in the guy's back.
No.
And he goes, oh boy, that's a big one. And the hole that this slug made was humongous, about the size of a tomato.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is now that we're talking about this, I can't think of where nobody ever said, oh, here's the slug. I don't know where that thing went. It had to have plowed through the guy's back, out his chest, and gone somewhere, but nobody ever said, here it is. But I'm sure it propels itself through the body.
Oh, it's probably stuck in a palm tree, half a mile away.
Nobody ever said anything. Dan Carlson wants to know if you have any 9mm ammo for trade or sale.
Dan, I'm coveting all my 9mm ammo. I have about 1,000 rounds, and it's not going anywhere. Sorry.
And I don't know anybody that has ammo that they want to give up.
Not people like us, not people like you, me, Dan Carlson. We only absorb ammo. We don't get rid of it.
There's a guy that I know that makes his own ammo, so I'll probably get some from him. Yes, Michael Austin, back to him. He says he's been in a month He's been in a month. So good luck to you. Make sure you keep us posted on your progress there in the academy, Michael. We're rooting for you.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. No other questions.
Let's get Jackie in here.
Jack, you guys want to see Jack, that handsome Jack? Now, don't think any lesser of Steve.
Jackie boy.
Because Steve's handsome as well, but his son, I'm sure all the ladies will be going, what a cutie.
I'll put on my new glasses so that we match. He asked me to put them on all the time. Jackie!
Here comes the little twinsy patrol. The twinsy patrol.
Here we go.
Hey, you're going to have to cut this part out for the people that want to listen to us talking about Jackie.
Yeah.
Dave Ball's here. Hey, Dave, you came at the end of the podcast, but welcome. Thank you, Michael. Well, he's getting his son. We hope you like our podcast the best. Do you guys like our podcast the best of all the podcasts?
Come on,
because that would make us feel good.
He was trying to come in earlier. You want to come in and say hi?
Oh, you wear your glasses.
Yeah.
Dan Carlson says, hi, Jack.
Here's my buddy.
There's Jack. Look at that hair.
Want to say hi to Mr. Ken?
Mm-hmm. Hi.
Hey, Jackie, how you doing?
Good.
All right.
Where do you got the blue flag?
I got the blue flag. Do you like it?
Where do you got it from?
Oh, he likes your flag better than mine.
I got it from Amazon.
Oh. Well, I like both of the flags.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, cool. Very cool. It's good to see you.
All right, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for coming on.
Have I signed you before?
Yeah, look, he's right there.
Oh, have I met him at the date road?
Yeah, we met him. Remember, we've been to his house.
Oh.
I'm very forgettable, though.
Oh, Christine Roof says hi. Says, hey, bud. And Lisa Gano says, hi, Jack. Michael Austin. And Dan Carlson. Look at everybody saying hi to you, Jack. See all this writing here? This is all the people writing to Daddy and Ken.
Do they look alike, you
Isn't
guys?
that cool?
Do they look alike?
Yeah.
I think they kind of favor each other.
Well, thank you for coming on. All right, we got to wrap up the show, buddy, okay?
Hey, is his hair turning red?
All right.
It looked like he's like red on the top.
It's he's dirty blonde. He doesn't. He got upset once, so I said, "You can have a big red beard like that." And he's like, "No, I'm having a black beard."
That's funny.
All right, buddy. I got to close it up, okay? I love you.
But I want to help you.
Okay, you can sit right here when we close it up, okay?
Dan Carlson says we should have a TPS meet and greet. I used to do that for policebackground.net. We used to go and meet for dinners and lunches and stuff like that. But we used to have big groups of people. You guys should definitely have a TPS meet and greet. You SoCal folks meet up somewhere and get to know each other in person. There's people that were on policebackground.net forums that we used to get together like once every couple months or something. We started that in 2007, and they are still friends today, those folks. So this is one of those things where you could do that easily. If there's anybody up in Washington State, I could do the TPS meet and greet up here.
Ken, I think Ken would. It's not out of his budget to fly me up there and be part of it.
In the private jet. Are we using the private jet for that, though? Or is that something you want to use it
for?
Well,
if we get it fueled up in time.
Cool.
Fine.
That's all I got, man. That is all I have for this evening for the news. We hope you enjoyed the news. Any shout-outs for anything?
Are you asking me, or are you looking at the camera?
I'm asking you.
I
got a cool thing. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm going to do a shout-out for you. I want to tell any police applicants out there that want to have their best shot, put their best foot forward, should contact Ken Roybal for some advice and some guidance on the application process. Ken at policebackground.net is the place to go. And I know you had a pretty big pile on your desk. Are you working your way through them?
Yeah, I got down to, I got down to 8, and now I'm steady at 8 again because people are coming in. But I got my second Canadian customer. So you Canadians who want to learn about your background, see if you'll pass or not, I do that. Also, I've got a pretty cool thing happening with Dan Jerkowitz from Bump It Marketing. He's building me a members portal, a customer portal, where you have to log in to your personal part of the website, and then clients will be able to schedule their own appointments through a calendar system. So I'm working on that.
Well, look at you. My goodness. You're going to leave the podcast, have your own backgrounds empire.
That's right. Hey, Gavin, me and Gavin McCulley, we're going to meet up in Washington, TPS meet and greet.
Very cool.
And we're going to have post photos of it and stuff like that. So, Gavin, hit me up, man. Mikey Reyes. Used to work with us in backgrounds. What's happening, Mikey?
Mike's on here? Killer.
Yeah. We're just getting you ready to sign off, and you're going to catch the last 30 seconds.
Love me some Mike Reyes. If I could get him to come on the podcast, what an interview. Guys send
Steve an email requesting Mike Reyes on the podcast.
Let's get him on
to tell his police stories.
Let's do it. You're going to have to bring you back for that one, Ken. You're going to have to come back if we do Mike.
I would definitely co-host that.
All right.
So that's good for me. That's it for me for the week in the news.
All right, Ken, thank you very much. And thank you to everybody who's been supporting the show. And we have reviews rolling in on iTunes, which is awesome. We really appreciate that. Please keep it up. Please, if you have a little extra ching-ching in your pocket, you can go over to thingspolicec.com and you can donate directly to the show. Or you can buy some merch there. You can buy there's mugs, there's t-shirts, there's some cool stuff. So we love that, and we just love hearing from you guys. Thank you for all the messages and encouragement that you send us. So thank you so much for that. And without further ado, I'm gonna run our bumpers, Ken.
All right, see you guys next week. Thanks a lot.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the podcast. If you love the show and you want to show some support, you can go to thingspolicec.com and click the donate button. We are 100% listener funded, so if you've been enjoying all the content we provide, we surely appreciate the support. All right, guys, we'll catch you next time.